the upper hand tonight at Madison Square Garden in New York. Quiet moments in the locker room. Charles Smith for the Knicks. Scottie Pippen of the Bulls. B.J. Armstrong strapping on the shoes. And we are ready. We are tied at 2 games apiece, and we are set for Game 5 with the Bulls and the Knicks. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ron Thulin. It was just 1 week ago we were here to see the Knicks go up 2-0, but history has repeated itself. The Bulls were able to hold serve at home, tied this series up at 2 games apiece. My broadcast partner this evening, Hubie Brown. Neither team playing exceptionally well, but how have the Bulls been able to come back?
Well, never mind about coming back. This building is rocking. Outside, $2,000 a ticket. Now we'll get to what happened in games 3 and 4. We'd like to show you the graph. You can see at home, Chicago scored 100 points over what they did in this building last week. The shooting percentage up, the contribution from the bench, and then the points scored off of turnovers.
Well, Hubie, Derek Harper will not be playing tonight for the Knicks. He is in Game 2 of a 2-game suspension, so Pat Riley has opted to go with the same lineup from game number 4.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of pressure at the point guard position. Anthony must give them quality 40 minutes of play. He struggled in Game 4, 2 for 13 from the field, along with 4 turnovers. Corey Gaines backing him up, must move the basketball. Now, they're going with Starks and Smith at the 2-guard and small forward position. That is their number 1 lineup. But at small forward, Smith and Mason must dominate and really give Scottie Pippen a problem.
Well, let's talk about Scottie Pippen. He's coming off 2 25-point performances in Chicago, but last week here in New York, he struggled.
Well, he struggled, Ron, from the standpoint he only shot 35%, 49% in New York. In Chicago. Then, along with that, he had 11 fouls in games 1 and 2, only 5 over the weekend. His main thing tonight is when they move him to the backcourt and he plays the point guard position, keep an eye on him because he will be the designated double teamer. He's asked to do everything. Score, rebound, assist, lead the break, and then only double team the post people.
Well, Hubie, Chicago's been able to meet the challenge in years past in Game 5. In fact, they have won 5 of the last 6 Game 5s, but tonight, strap it on. We've got a war on our hands. The Knicks and the Bulls, Game 5 next. We are set for Game 5. There is an electric atmosphere here in the Garden as we take a look at tonight's Jeep Eagles starting matchup.
Well, at that small forward position, Ken Pippen stay out of foul trouble, guarding Smith and then his backup Mason. We know the Cartwright-Ewing duel will be major. Ken Patrick holed up with the bad knee that he injured in Game 3.
If you don't think it's loud in here, here's Patrick Ewing just moments ago being introduced. Here in the Garden as we take a look at tonight's Jeep. Well, as you might expect, the Bulls were booed. The Knicks were cheered. It is 19,000 plus, another sellout on hand. You'll be talking to Pat Riley today. They had 2 what he called very good, very intense practices. There we see Bill Jackson coaching the Bulls, 49-year-old Pat Riley on the other side. Pat Riley said the theme of his practice on Monday, he felt the guys came in with their heads hanging a little bit down, but his theme was, let's just get back to playing basketball.
Well, and their basketball is rock and sock 'em. He felt that they had 2 outstanding practices. The main point, though, is, Ron, they're not playing as well as they did a year ago at the same time. And that's because Hubert Davis has been held back with a broken hand, Stark with the knee, and then also Charles Smith with the knee, which is never going to be totally cured. So, main people here, and then Doc Rivers, which they lost early in the year.
You talk about basically they have 4 guys for the Knicks playing less than 100%, probably close to 60 to 80%. That's not an excuse. That's pretty much the reality of the situation. But there is a man they're going to be dependent on, Charles Oakley, and on the other side, Horace Grant. That is a key battle tonight.
Yep, it is. And they've really gone toe-to-toe in this series, and it's almost a wash. Now, naturally, Grant is scoring at a very high pace at 17 points a game, but the Oak man is winning out on the battle of the boards. Oakley averaging 5.5 offensive rebounds per game.
From high above the Garden, Danny Crawford, Hugh Hollins, Daryl Garrettson, our officials. Crawford tosses it up. Knicks have possession. Greg Anthony getting the start. He has been abused in the paper for his performance on Sunday, but Pat Riley said, listen, you stick with the guy going up, you stick with him coming down. Ewing.
The emphasis in New York is Ewing needs more than 14 or 15 shots a game. They must get him back to the regular season and also the New Jersey series where he gets 20 attempts.
Standing behind Cartwright, Ewing able to take advantage. Starks to Ewing. Count the basket, we have a whistle.
Now the transition game is almost non-existent for New York in games 3 and 4. When this team is smoking, they are out in the open floor. Now you're going to see Ewing gambles coming over the top of Cartwright to free this ball up, and then they have numbers coming the other way. This is a 4-on-2, a good choice. Always reward the big people.
Well, Pat Riley has said throughout the year that their fast break is nothing more than an adventure. They are not a very good passing basketball club. Ewing with 4. The lead is 4. Of course, the Knicks opened up a 12-0 advantage on Chicago on Sunday up in the stadium. Only to see that dissipate quickly.
Well, Pat Riley said that he will go to quicker substitutions for Stark and Charles Smith.
Oakley the rebound, the outlet pass to Anthony. Anthony wastes little time giving it up. Cartwright behind Ewing.
Kind of surprise, no cutters.
Ewing, the spin move toward the baseline, something we haven't seen a lot of in this series.
Well, in the early going, no double teaming. They are not leaving the small forward because Smith and Mason hurt Pippen anytime that he would double team from that position.
New York forces Chicago to extend their offense. Pippen, the one-handed push shot. Beautiful shot by Pippen, his first.
Well, that was extremely difficult, a tough angle, and he held it, cradled it with one hand. Now, this is what Anthony must break. He must be able to handle a double team.
The Knicks make him pay for it, Hughie.
Well, what they're doing is whoever's man takes the ball out of bounds after a Chicago score, that is the man who will trap Anthony at half court.
Cartwright, a lot of time on the shot clock, 12 to shoot. Ewing comes over to pick up Pippen. The air ball right into the hands of Oakley. Ewing running the floor. He has Myers. Takes it inside, no problem. Patrick Ewing and the Knicks have not missed a shot.
Well, they're off to a great start. This is what Pat Riley was hoping for when he went back to this lineup. Let's get this club back into sync like we were last year. Good backdoor that time by Grant.
Grant has to flick the shot. Myers has it tapped away. Once again, the Knicks running the floor, but they toss it away. It'll belong to the Bulls. So now Pat Riley says, wait a minute, Chicago touched it.
Well, right now, Pat Riley was yelling to the baseline official, Hugh Holland, to overrule that. He thought it was a deflection. Right now, Ewing 4 for 4. The Knicks 5 for 5 from the field.
Right in front of us. Armstrong almost lost the handle. When they throw it away, we'll go the other way.
This building has been in a roar for the last half hour.
Unbelievable. You have to think the Bulls just have to withstand this initial shock of emotion here because it'll come down to execution in the final 3 quarters.
Right now, they're running baseline action. There's a staggered screen for Starks.
Myers doing a good job. 7 to shoot. Starks, Cartwright had to pick him up. Oakley with the long rebound. Ewing lost the handle. The whistle blows again.
See, that time, Cartwright gambled. He tried to get the hand in there before Ewing had the ball up above his numbers. He definitely fouled.
Foul was on B.J. Armstrong, his first, his second team foul. Patrick Ewing at the line. 8-time All-Star. And early on, he's getting the attention. You talk about 14 shots a game. He already has 4 tonight. And you see in the semis, the first round of the regular season.
Well, you have to look at this and say, well, why is that happening in the series? Well, they're double teaming him so strong on normal nights. The reason the perimeter people are struggling. John Starks is the leading guard in regards to field goal percentage, 36%. Hubert Davis, 36. Anthony, 24. So naturally, in the other game, they would double team him hard and then put the pressure on the perimeter people.
Pippen hasn't knocked away the swarming defense. Ewing takes one in the right eye, and he's holding the right side of his head.
By the way, I really don't think there's anything wrong with Patrick Ewing's knee. All right, he has been everywhere. Not only at the offensive end, he continues to double team any player that gets within 10 feet of the hole.
He's going to have to go over to see Mike Saunders, the trainer, at least dry it off, probably tearing up since he took a finger in the eye. At the line, it'll be John Starks after the whistle, and the foul. Foul was on Myers. All right, 3 team fouls now on the Bulls.
Now, Starks is averaging 15.5 points a game in this series. What, he's only shooting 36%, and then, uncharacteristically, only 28% from threes. He is getting to the line, though, for 7 attempts a game. The closest guy to him on the Knicks, Ewing, at 6. So you know that Starks is taking the ball strong to the basket.
24 of 27 in this series from the stripe. 37 of 41 overall in the playoffs. Deathly quiet in the Garden right now. The only time it'll be quiet. 2 for Starks. The lead goes up to 9 with just under 8.5 left in the first. Glad to be with us tonight for Game 5.
Well, in his first 4 minutes of play, B.J. Armstrong, who is having a terrific series, has not been able to get a shot attempt.
Myers from about 19 goes about 18. Hitting the boards, everybody. Comes in ahead to Starks.
Oh, great defense by B.J.
And Starks takes it away from Myers. Smith. Good.
You're a Chicago fan. That was quite unfortunate. A terrific steal by B.J., and then they lose the ball.
The crowd is electric. We'll be back. Three of the series, Scottie Pippen was nowhere to be found at crunch time, but in Game 4 on Sunday, he came out strong as he led the Bulls in scoring, rebounding, and assists, finishing with a game-high 25 points. The Bulls never let this game get away as they forced New York into 24 turnovers that led to easy baskets and numerous fast-break opportunities. Instead of a possible sweep or a 3-1 lead, New York left Chicago Stadium just as they had last year, tied at 2 games apiece.
Well, right now, Ron, Chicago's struggling. They're 2 for 8 from the field, 25%. New York 6 for 7. But the major point, because of the misses and the long rebounds, New York 8-0 in fast break points.
Pat Riley talked about those transition points during the regular season, 28-30. He said he got the fast break opportunities, and they haven't been getting any in the last 2 games. Bulls throw it away again. The careless pass by B.J. Armstrong. Uncharacteristic.
The main thing is for you, when you're on the road like this, you know that they're going to miss. The Knicks always allow you back into the game. The main thing is to keep your turnovers down and take high percentage shots.
That was B.J. Armstrong, only his 7th turnover of the entire playoffs, not just this series. Offensive foul, that's going to be on Charles Smith.
Now that was Pete Myers deciding to go between the 2 players setting a double screen. You very seldom see that because they can flatten a defensive player trying to bust through that time. But they catch Charles Smith moving on the screen.
Oh, Pippen, the strong move. Myers right there to clean it up.
Right now, you must penalize the Knicks because Patrick Ewing is leaving the center, and then someone is picking up the center. That extra guy must get to the offensive glass.
Smith from the corner. That is a welcome sight for Pat Riley, his 4th point of the ballgame. Pippen to Myers. He'll launch one from the outside, and Pete Myers drains his 2nd in a row. He has 4.
Main concern of Pat Riley to keep Pippen and Kukoc under control off the dribble.
Cartwright playing behind Ewing. Myers showed the double. Good ball fake start. Launches the 3. Anthony wisely pulls it out. Ewing!
Right now, Patrick's on fire. Cartwright cannot handle him. and you would think that pretty soon the double team is going to come. Scottie Pippen, once again, launching the three. Now, in this series, he's done an outstanding job. He is now 8 for 21.
Going to be an offensive foul called on the Knicks. It'll be on Greg Anthony.
Big thing is to keep Anthony under control. You know, there's an awful lot of pressure on him, not just from his peers, but also from everyone in this building and outside in the Big Apple.
No baskets, and the score remains 19-11. We're at the 6-minute mark of the first quarter. Myers on top, far side, Pippen. Smith picks him up.
Scottie feels that he can beat Smith off the dribble or Oakley anytime that they switch off. He feels confident that he can blow by them.
One of the first two games here, Mason and Bonner and also Smith really pounded on Scottie Pippen.
Well, Scottie was looking for a deflection that time.
Starks a hit off his knee, belongs to the Bulls.
Well, if you lose it at one end, Ron, come back and make something good happen at the other. And that was Scottie Pippen. He double-teamed Starks that time.
New York, 2 straight turnovers. The Knicks have never won a playoff series versus the Bulls. Myers all the way, the hard, strong foul by Ewing. He wants the forearm by Myers, won't get it.
Anytime that they beat their man off the dribble, Ewing is coming. Cartwright must get to the front of the rim so he can either get the pass or a missed shot.
Pete Myers at the line to shoot a pair.
You cannot allow Patrick Ewing to intimidate and then also bury you at the offensive end of the floor.
Myers 70% from the stripe this year. 8 of 13 in the playoffs so far. As you see, 62%, the 6th-year pro out of Arkansas, Little Rock. Originally a 6th-round pick back in 1986 by the Bulls. Myers with 5, the lead's down to 7, 5.5 left in the first.
Now there's your trap. Oh, that was a bad gamble.
Ewing, his first miss of the game.
If you trap in the backcourt and the next pass is made, you cannot gamble and miss that pass. Because if you do, you're opening yourself up for a layup. Now just watch this. On this pass, you'll see Grant shoots up. You want right there. See, you cannot allow that to happen because now it's 3-on-2 down inside. And once again, a good choice.
Really now 2 of 4 from the stripe. He already has 12 here in the opening quarter. He was extremely positive today in the locker room following their shoot-around. He has been that way in the paper. Would not talk to the media yesterday, just wanted to be by himself.
Well, you know, Ron, in the 4 games, he's shooting 61% and 84 from the line. And, you know, he's doing an excellent job in the boards. He's averaging 10 rebounds. But he's playing 43 minutes a game.
Played 44 in game 4. Now Ewing battling on Cartwright. The big step by Patrick. What a reverse. Almost got it. Rebound controlled by the Bulls.
Right now, I like the Knicks' hustle and their effort on their offensive board. They are just bullying Chicago around, and more important, smacking them around. And there are no loose ball fouls called.
And usually when they get in their offense now, there's 15 on the shot clock by the time B.J. Armstrong really got things going, and it turns into a one-man game with Pippen. Oh, big-time rejection, Patrick Ewing. They can't make the save. Bulls have it, only 3 on the shot clock.
Everyone was criticizing Patrick for not being active in games 3 and 4. But I'll tell you, tonight, he is everywhere. Picking up, I don't care who the man is off the dribble. Now just watch this strong move by Patrick. And then, Grant, as he takes that one up, I was surprised. I thought he was going to send that one down with 2 hands.
Bill Jackson wants a fresh 24. And now they're also talking to Charles Oakley and Bill Cartwright, but he's only going to have 3 on the shot clock.
I'll tell you, it's a real battle with Oakley and Grant.
Pippen, a difficult shot, can't get it to go. Charles Smith with the rebound. He already has 3 tonight. Ewing. Knicks by 8, 4.5 left in the first. Pippen launches his second 3, and he drains his second 3.
You must pick him up a little further out because he's in the rhythm and he's looking for it. We told you earlier he came in 7 for 20. He is now 9 for 22 in threes in the series.
Starks left open on the baseline. Myers got a piece of it. Here comes Pippen. Has Armstrong on the right, spotting up for the three. Starks goes down. Myers, that's a two. Myers struggling in this playoff.
Yeah, and so is Kerr. You know, the substitute that comes in at that position. The two-guard position is letting them down because they are getting clear looks at the basket.
Anthony doing a nice job running the point. Not out of control as of yet. Leave him open for the 15. Pat Riley says he has got to hit that shot. He wants him to look for it. Armstrong back out to Grant from 17.
Nice ball movement. That was only their second fast break attempt of this quarter.
But on a fast break attempt, you have to make the other team pay for it. 3:22 left in the first. The Knicks by 5.
Scottie Pippen is on fire, and the main thing here is you must pick him up at the three-point line. Keep an eye on Bill Cartwright and what he does. See, his man is below the three. Now, right there. Now, you see where Smith is? Smith is below the line. Well, that allows Cartwright to set a screen on him, giving Scottie the open shot. And when a guy is on fire, you must come out higher. Well, you say, hey, that's easy for you to say. You're not Charles Smith trying to guard Scottie Pippen off the dribble. But the big thing is you've got to get out there and show it.
Now, these are points like the first 4 minutes of Game 4 and tonight, the rest of the quarter. You talk about Scottie Pippen hitting that three, but wasn't Pat concerned that Scottie Pippen's been able to beat his defense off the dribble so many times, or they may be respecting that too much?
Yeah, they are, but the main thing is he's looking for the three, and they can make up the points quickly, Ryan. You have to gamble a little bit here and rely on the interior defense to rotate. Now they have Kerr in the game now.
Pippen, no place to go. The whistle, the foul's going to be on Mason, who is also checked in.
Now, both whistles were late. And the reason why Pippen passed the ball, he did not think he was getting the call. People, you're sitting there and you're saying, well, why didn't he shoot it at the basket? He held it as long as he could, so he was trying to make the play. Once he made the play, then both whistles came out.
Well, the Bulls on a 7-1 run. It has been over 3 minutes since New York has scored.
This is the guy that's got to get some shot attempts, B.J. Armstrong. He's averaging over 17 a game in this series, and the big thing, he's shooting 50% and 80 from three-point range.
He's 0 for 1 tonight. Grant, the running left-hander, will go, but he puts it right back in. Horace Grant with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Now, Oakley is upset with himself because once the shot went up, he never got into the chest of Grant.
The Knicks 2 of 9 since they started the game, 6 for 17. Ewing lost the handle. Here comes Armstrong.
First time they double-teamed him.
Pulls up from 15. B.J. Armstrong, his second shot, he makes good.
You like to see that because B.J. is really on a roll in this series. He's been taking it off the dribble, getting into the lane. So you must find him some shot attempts.
Now it is a one-point game nearing the 2-minute mark of the first.
Grant just put Mason behind the stanchion.
Hubert Davis, who also checked into the lineup. We talked about the two-guard Woe shooting. He drills his first.
I tell you, they are manhandling the screeners down on the baseline. At both ends.
Oakley on Graham. Quick hands. Armstrong again from the same spot.
Nice assist, Torres. Come on now. He had the shot blocked. Fortunately, the ball goes right to B.J. Armstrong, who was wide open coming off that screen.
Good pass, Coach. Mason on Grant. He dribbles it off his foot. Here comes Pippen on the break.
Nice.
1 on 4.
Nice.
Stutter move and the jam on Oakley.
You know, he said, I got the Oak man. I'm going to give him a little razzle-dazzle. First of all, a hesitation. Make the defender square off, and then take the crossover dribble and go strong.
First lead of the game. Anthony with the reverse. The first wild shot for Greg tonight.
Up in the corner.
Spotting up. Pulls the trigger. Buries the two.
Now you knew it. Because as soon as as soon as Anthony went down that lane, B.J. took off for that distant corner. Now the pressure is on the Knicks. Armstrong and Kerr will occupy the corners in transition.
Ewing from 18, nothing but the bottom of the net. He has 13 in the ballgame, 14 in the ballgame.
That's why early we said, you know, the Knicks make big runs, but they always allow you back in the game. Chicago kept to their knitting, stayed within, good high percentage shots.
Herb Williams will come into the lineup. Charles Oakley didn't like the call. Here comes Williams in. Oakley's foul. That is his first.
Now that was a strong foul by the Oakley. I mean, he caught him right across the wrist with a hard foul.
Ewing sits down with 14 in the quarter. Herb Williams comes into the lineup. Williams, the 13th year pro of Ohio State. Patrick Lee shooting 6 of 9 from the floor.
Now they're taking this out on the side. They're saying that he got him before. Now, maybe Oakley didn't understand it, but he must have gotten it before. But he definitely nailed him on the shot.
Well, now the horn goes off for some reason. That was an inadvertent horn. The scorekeeper shakes his head and said, my fault. Put some time back on the shot clock. We'll try it all again.
Anytime that you play the ball, most important guy on a side out of bounds is the man inbounding. Scottie Pippen usually gets involved with the action.
Oakley lets Grant get away. Kerr looking for the shot. He gets a good look. Steve Kerr drains it.
He's the young man that had to get it together. He's 5 for 17 coming into this game and only 1 for 7 in 3. He feels that he's getting a good look, and it's nice to see him hit that first one.
Davis on Kerr, 10 on the shot clock. Inside, good pass to Oakley.
Beautiful pass that time. Beautiful.
Oakley with 4. The Bulls still lead by 1. Final 10. Jackson wanting Armstrong in the corner. Pippen going one-on-one with Mason. Great ball fake. Scottie Pippen, the bank is open.
That's great for confidence, Ron.
And at the buzzer, Davis lets it fly. It won't count, but what a quarter for Scottie Pippen. 12 points for Scottie Pippen, 14 for Patrick Ewing. Chicago goes on a 21-7 run to end the quarter. The last 6.5 minutes, they lead by 3 heading into the second quarter. Towering over the Manhattan skyline, the Empire State Building, and down below Madison Square Garden, 19,000 plus have seen the Bulls take a 3-point advantage after one. We talk about BJ, he's getting the shots now.
Well, he's getting the shots, and the fact that you like about his game, he's getting into the lane area. In this series, he's averaging 5 foul attempts, tries a game. Now there it is on that misdirection by Grant on a nice block by Oakley. But you can see right there, as his game has grown through the years, this year 14.9, and in this series, 17.0. Well, we told you the key. He's shooting 50% from the field, 80% on threes, 95 on the line.
Mason fronts Oakley and pays for it. Fronts Longley, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't front if they're going to empty out the back, and that was well done and a beautiful pass that time to Longley.
Kukoc, Longley, Paxton into the lineup for the Bulls, joined by Grant and Kerr. And the Knicks toss it away. Bulls have the basketball, leading by 5.
Bulls are playing with an awful lot of confidence right now. You take away the Knicks' 8-0 spurt on fast break points in that first quarter, Knicks are really struggling there.
Remember last year, the Knicks won the first 2, dropped 4 straight into the Bulls. Longley inside, can't get it. Mason the rebound. He can't lead the break. A member of the dog pound. That's what's on the side of his head. The reserves for the Knicks. Now the bench of the Bulls really need to step up here tonight.
Well, they've struggled in this building.
Davis with the left hand.
They were outscored by 21 points in games 1 and 2. But once they got back to Chicago, they did an excellent job.
Bench players usually do a better job at home than they do on the road. Longley on Williams. Williams with the block. Offensive foul will go the other way.
Well, they catch Longley with a push that time. It's quite unnecessary. Now, Herb Williams, one of the premier shot blockers when he was with the Indiana Pacers. You're going to see it right here. See, there's the clear out with the left hand. Took Herb Williams right down with that blow.
Bulls by 3. Davis down low to Williams. Almost thrown away. Knicks have it, 11 on the shot clock.
Nice anticipation by Kerr.
We have two of the better defensive teams in rotating and half-court defense here this evening. So when you make the diagonal pass, you better have a clear view.
Charles Smith now working on Grant. Looks over the shot clock at 2. He lets it go. Doesn't get it. No, that'll be a 24-second violation for the Knicks.
Now, Grant is the only starter out there with this unit. He was right up on the top of Charles Smith.
4 of 8 games, the Knicks have held their opponent to under 40% shooting, but in the last 2, the Bulls have averaged over 100 and about 50% from the field. Kukoc. Shot clock to 7. Grant underneath with the reverse.
That is Longley's strength. Not only the 7'2", 265 pounds, but his passing ability. That was a very difficult pass.
Chicago has made a commitment to stop the Knicks 2 guards, which now is Hubert Davis. Mason has to kick it out to Smith. Shot will go, but we have a whistle and a foul, and we also have a timeout. 9:34 left in the half. The Bulls by 5.
We'd like to show you the fronting of the post player. Now, right now, you're going to see it here. This is two-man action. The pass is going to go over the top to Longley. Now, you're saying, why isn't Mason in here? Because of the zone rules, he must be in this blue area right here if his man is outside. Now, you're going to see the lob. There's the lob. A good catch. Mason is late, and Grant would have been on the offensive board.
Phil Jackson talks an awful lot about tempo. He said it's not so much how many points they score, but the tempo. Well, in the first 5.5 minutes of the ballgame, the tempo belonged to the Knicks as they opened up an 11-point advantage. But since then, it is 25-9 in favor of Chicago. Foul, by the way, was on Steve Kerr, his first.
Well, in that first quarter, Ron, Patrick Ewing 6 for 9, 2 for 5 on the line, 14 points. Scottie Pippen 5 for 9, 2 for 3 and threes for 12 points.
And Ewing back into the lineup. Smith misses a pair. 72% during the regular season. Can't get him to drop, so the lead remains at 5. With Chicago looking to add to it. Longley. Taken away by Ewing. He's going to lead the break. 3-on-2 if he hurries. Ewing all the way. Doesn't get it.
Patrick was definitely fouled. Look for the call. He had his shoulder ahead. That nice pass.
Kukoc to Longley.
We could hear the call. Longley was calling for it as he was coming down the middle of the floor. A beautiful drop-off pass by Kukoc.
Corey Gaines will come into the next lineup the next break. Smith working on Grant. The pump fake goes strong to the hole. Mason keeps it alive.
Now this is what you must eliminate. You know, Mason on the offensive board.
Shot won't go, but we have a whistle and a foul. Talk about a nice touch pass from the 3-time European Player of the Year.
Well, you can see. Now, right now, Longley is calling for the ball. But how about this? A little flip off the dribble. And then, most important, a strong move going to the basket by Longley.
Foul was on Tony Kukoc, his first second-team foul. At the line, Anthony Mason. We saw Mason put on quite a performance in game number 2. 15 points, 14 rebounds. His 14 rebound was more than the entire Bulls bench.
Well, in this series, Ron, he's not only scoring 12 points, he's averaging 7 rebounds. He's doing all this in 28 minutes. He's shooting 60% from the field and 78 from the line.
He has 2 tonight. The lead is still 5 by the Bulls. Kerr working on Corey Gaines, who's checked in for the Knicks. He will see playing time tonight. Gaines shoves Steve Kerr into the bench.
That was unnecessary. Your player picked up the dribble. There's no need to foul him once he makes the pass. What you try to do with your second unit is please do not get us into the penalty situation early.
Kerr moves it. Little French pastry behind the back. Still a lot of time on the shot clock. 12 seconds. Kerr can't beat Gaines off the dribble. Pulls the trigger short. To Smith. Nice pass by Gaines to Smith for the 2.
Strong move that time by Charles Smith. He realized he had a guard back Steve Kerr, and he's giving you at least 6 inches, so you know you're going up over the top.
Grant on Smith. Longley. That'll be a traveling call.
Now, not only did they have to travel there, they also had a 3-second. Now, they're working on Craig Anthony on the sideline right now. It's his left wrist. Now, Corey Gaines is in the game. If you remember back to Game 3 when the Knicks made a strong move down 22, caught Chicago right at the end of the game. Gaines was on the floor through that entire fourth quarter. Riley likes the fact that he moves the ball and he does a nice job.
Outside, Smith, a little short on the jumper. Paxson with the rebound. Kukoc has Grant streaking down the left side. He pulls the trigger on the three. Grant with the offensive rebound. Remember, he had only 2 offensive rebounds in the first 2 games here in the Garden.
But then he came back in, now averaging 4 offensive boards at home.
Longley can't get the roll. Ewing the board, his third.
Right now, Longley has taken 2 hook shots, and they've both been ugly. They're not even on the front of the rim off. They are off to the right side of the rim.
Mason goes strong to the hole. He stays down.
This is the guy. This is the guy who can upset you, especially in this building. This guy's a tough dude. Now, you're going to see a very, very strong move. He's playing with a lot of confidence in this series. In the New Jersey series, yes, he was there, but not making as much of a contribution from the point scoring and then the rebounding.
He is so strong. 2 of 3. Phil Jackson going to his bench. Cartwright's going to come back out. Luke Longley will sit down. Scott Williams has checked into the Bulls lineup. 4th-year pro out of North Carolina. B.J. Armstrong also will come in. Steve Kerr comes out. So Pat Riley talked about making a lot of substitutions, timing them a little bit better. Phil Jackson going to his bench. Anthony Mason from right here in New York City. Never drafted. Outstanding defense. The lead is 2. Nearly 7 minutes left in the half. Riley says he's beaten him off the dribble 80% of the time, and he did it right there.
That time, Anthony Mason was looking for help. He definitely channeled him to go to the baseline. Unfortunately, no one rotated to pick up the dribbler.
Starks tried to get it to Ewing. Cartwright just tossed him out of the way, and boy, I need timeout. Now 6:42 left in the half. Bulls by 4.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. When they hit the break in New York, George Karl and I will bring you the Reebok halftime report. We'll get the coach's insights into the first half, and we'll take a look at the Denver Nuggets and their remarkable knack for the comeback. It's all coming up on the Reebok halftime report. Now let's get back to the Garden to Ron Thulin and Hubie Brown. Guys?
Well, we'd like to show you the play that just happened. You're going to see a 2-man game right now. Now, keep an eye right here on the post. Now, Cartwright gets his leg in between Ewing. The pass is made to this side. As Cartwright comes around the front, you're going to think that there is a collision with the legs, but it does not happen. Patrick Ewing just got himself in a bad angle. There is no contact, and he just fell to the floor.
Not bad. 29-14 since 6.5 of the first. The Bulls have kept their poise throughout a very emotional first 2.5, 3 minutes of the ball game.
Well, that's the major problem with this team all year long. The Knicks have never been able to hit a happy tempo for the 48 minutes from an offensive standpoint.
The Knicks going with Starks, Gaines, Smith, Ewing, and Oakley. Williams, Pippen, Cartwright, Kukoc, and Armstrong for the Bulls. Oakley didn't like it. Darryl said, too bad, Charles. We'll go this way.
Now, right now, we have John Starks is playing Scottie Pippen. That ball went to the wing, and Scottie Pippen was going right into the post area.
Pippen trying to post him up. Starks tries to front him.
That's a clear out.
Pippen just turns around, pulls the trigger right into the hands of Smith. Here comes Gaines. Starks says, don't give it to me. Now you can. The three. Inside. No! Great look by Starks to Smith.
The reason that opened up Scott Williams fell down on the floor when that pass was made out to Starks. His man opened up, and I give Starks a lot of credit.
I thought he was going to pull the trigger.
Right, go for the high percentage shot.
5 assists for John Starks already in the ball game. The lead is down to 2. Kukoc, the one-handed left-handed shot.
Tony playing with a lot of confidence. He feels he can go by any of the players, and he just shot that one right up over the top of Mason's double team.
Bill Jackson says he's a money player. Smith, nice ball fake. Charles Smith.
Well, they named him way back in the old days at the 5-star basketball camp, Howie Garfinkel, Mr. Fluid. And you can see it down inside.
Exactly
he
right.
has many moves.
Now Cartwright being guarded by Smith. Williams crosses over to the far side. Here comes Pippen. Ewing puts a forearm on him to hold him up, just enough to maybe disrupt things. Good Armstrong for 3. Buries it.
Excellent choice. Cartwright took his time and looked to the corners. And we keep telling you, Armstrong in the left side on the floor in the corner, or Kerr on the right side anytime they're out there. Always dangerous with the 3.
DJ, number 2 in the NBA from the arc this year. Ewing from way outside. Doesn't get it. Kukoc tapped it to Williams.
And a technical foul. Very good call. Both referees were right on top of that. Oakley kicks Kukoc. Now, I know Oakley's upset because Kukoc, he felt, pushed him and had the contact. That's how he felt. Chicago got the rebound. But then Oakley, uncharacteristically, kicks him. All right, now keep an eye underneath here now. Now watch what happens. See, as it's knocked out, now watch what happens. See, boom, automatic, technical foul. Now here it is right there. I'm not surprised. There's no place for that. And
that's what starts.
Yeah, both refs right on top of it. And then you just saw something which you do not see very often. B.J. Armstrong missing a foul shot. In this series, 20 for 21, 95%.
So the Bulls retain possession with 4:39, leading by 5. Now Ewing playing behind Cartwright. They're doing a little shoving. Anthony trying to hold on to Armstrong. He pops out front.
Well, you can't wait. They're waiting too long, see.
Shot clock at 3. Ewing's going to be called for the grab.
If you're going to call it on Cartwright at one end, then you must call it at this end. Patrick once again gets caught reaching in. The clock was going down. You really don't like to see that, especially one of your key guys picking up a cheap foul. Let and force Cartwright to score over the top of you.
Greg Anthony back into the lineup. We give it right back to Kukoc. Alley-oop to Scottie Pippen.
That was beautiful. Just beautiful. Pippen going without the ball from the opposite side of the floor, and then Kukoc making the perfect pass.
I saw somebody come off screens last night, Reggie Miller, one of the best. Pippen did an excellent job there. Biggest lead of the ball game. Ewing lost the handle. We are at Madison Square Garden, where over 19,000, a sellout crowd, have come to see Game 5. The best of 7 tied up 2 games apiece. The Knicks and the Bulls. And the Bulls withstood an early challenge by the Knicks. Now have opened up a 7-point advantage.
Oh, they're playing with great confidence, Ron. Everyone is making the big open perimeter shots.
Well, we have 4 quarters of basketball.
Nice.
Inside to Pippen. He got pushed from behind. Let's see if they call it on Ewing or Starks. They're going to call it on Starks. He put up his hand quickly because he didn't want it called on Ewing. That would have been Ewing's third.
Once again, Tony Kukoc making a terrific decision. He was not going to force that shot, and because of his size, 6'10", 6'11", with the long arm, the maximum height, he dropped the pass right down inside the Pippen.
Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Budweiser will donate $1,000 in his behalf to the United Negro College Fund.
Scottie Pippen during the season averaged 5 foul shot attempts a game. He only shot 66%. In the playoffs, he's averaging 6 foul shot attempts a game. He was 25 for 26 coming in here tonight, 96%.
You talk about elevating the game. I mean, you've talked about it in the playoffs that you have to have somebody get the numbers or better. Scottie Pippen's done better. Now he's playing some defense on Anthony, dribbling around an awful lot. Mason with the pump fake, the basket, and the foul. Take that, Oakley with the basket. still, if you're Pat Riley, do you want to see Greg Anthony dribbling around like that outside?
Yeah, but you see, you go with the call. See, Pat, you can see the frustration on his face right now. See, they luck out here. That's the second guy to pick up the Oak man, and all Oakley did was give Scott Williams a head fake, and he steps right up high, allowing him to duck underneath.
Well, Scott Williams really not in the good graces of Phil Jackson, as Phil's talking to him on the far side now. He overslept, missed the shoot-around today. All the media started to blow this thing up like a volcano, and Scott told me, hey, I overslept, period. End of case. He said, I just hope it doesn't affect my playing time this evening. Oakley way short on the free throw attempt, and he's usually pretty solid. Now Pippen working on Smith, tries to take him off the dribble. They'll go the other way with it.
What we're seeing tonight is that Chicago continues. Pippen and Kukoc, the thing which we told you early, Pat Riley is major concerned about. Kukoc and Pippen breaking the defense down by beating their man off the dribble.
Anthony off the glass for two.
Well, that's what this young man needs. He needs some field goals to give himself some confidence. If he'll take it all the way like Harper would do occasionally, once or twice a quarter, take it all the way to the hole, but you must finish. And Greg Anthony, throughout his 3-year career here, he has struggled. 37%, 41%, 39%. We'd like to show you what happened on the lob pass before. Now here we have two-man basketball, Kukoc and a screen from Cartwright. As he dribbles over, keep an eye right here. A back screen, which Pippen is going to take advantage of. Starks runs into the back screen. Now keep an eye on it now. You always have to beware on the opposite side of the floor. Beautiful execution.
Pippen will trigger the inbounds pass. The good news for New York is that Patrick Ewing has taken 11 shots. The bad news, he's 1 for his last 6 after opening up the quarter 5 for 5. Ewing now comes out on Cartwright.
This was a double screen for Armstrong.
Doesn't get it to go. Oakley with the rebound as he goes into the camera. Here comes Starks. Smith underneath. Good look inside, a whistle and a foul. Starks had a great look inside to Smith. Boy, if you like basketball, you're going to want to turn your dial to TNT tomorrow night. We've got a triple header coming your way. We'll all get underway at 7 o'clock Eastern time with Gary Bender and Jack Gibbons as the Hawks and the Pacers go at it in Game 6. Indiana leading that 3-2. Then we'll go on to Utah and Denver with Tim Brando and Mike Fratello. And to wrap it up, a little nightcap at 11:30 Eastern time. Bob and Doug will be with the Rockets and the Suns, with the Rockets leading that series.
You know, Ron, we just saw something which has been missing for close to 12 minutes. Right, first, we'd like to give you the free throws, and that's big. But the main thing, the Knicks getting out in transition. You'd like to see Charles Smith open up and run the lane hard, because when he's out in that outside lane, he can post anyone if he just comes to the ball side.
Charles Oakley led his team to riot act the last 2 days, talking about making the hustle play. So I'm going to do it. You guys have to step up.
His point is, let's stop talking and let's start playing. We talk a great game, but you must play the game.
Myers to Cartwright right in front of the hoop. There is the man himself, Charles Oakley.
Beautiful pass by Myers, and Billy definitely did not follow through on that shot. He pulled the string.
Smith, great position down low.
If he'll just run to that spot, they'll find him all night.
14 for Smith. It is a 1-point Chicago advantage. The effort for New York starts on defense.
Green and roll, they'll trap.
New York on an 8-0 run. Pippen not beat off the dribble that time.
Once again, if you're cutting to the basket, please look for the pass. You cannot cut through the lane because I might throw you the ball, but you must see the ball.
The crowd back into this ball game. Anthony, shot clock at 7. Ewing, short. 1 for his last 7. The lead is still run by Chicago. Armstrong, right down the paint. Myers, the bank, won't go. Ewing, the rebound. He has 4. Oakley wisely holds it up. Pippen comes out to greet him. Starks directing traffic. 11 to shoot.
Two-man game.
Oakley from 20. Doesn't get it. Armstrong the rebound.
Chicago must continue to push.
Pippen for three. Ewing has it taken away by Myers, but the Knicks will have it with 53 seconds left in the half, trailing by 1. Pat Riley wants a 20-second timeout. Maybe the last two trips down the court, do you feel New York got the shot they wanted, or are they not being patient? What Pat Riley said the last game, they weren't patient offensively.
Well, I think, Ron, what happens is you get caught up with the emotion. I thought that they were executing extremely well in the transition. Then as soon as that shot clock got down to 8 to 10 seconds, we had a little panic there and we forced some shots. At the other end of the floor, I was kind of surprised at the two early shots that Chicago attempted at the basket. They have been playing well. They've closed the gap again, you know, and then once now, it would have liked to have seen them gone for a little power move, possibly on some post-up, take the Knicks strong to the basket.
Well, coming up at halftime, the Reebok halftime report. Ernie's in our studios in Atlanta with George Karl of the Seattle Supersonics. They'll have an update on the situation in San Antonio. John Lucas apparently will remain coach. Bob Bass will move into another position with the team. We'll update you on all the NBA news as musical chairs begin as far as coaches go in the league. 53.6 left in the half. The Bulls controlling midway through the first till just about now.
Now they're giving you full court pressure right now. You look at it, you say 53 seconds. You know that New York can go 2 for 1 here in this situation, but also go down, press them, force them to waste time on the shot clock.
Wasted about 6 seconds.
High screen and roll.
Oakley looking for Smith. He's the one who's been the offense here in the second quarter. Short on the jumper. He had no elevation. Great save by the Bulls. They have it with 32 left in the half.
The thing now is to calm down, get within your offense. You've had an excellent half running your half-court set.
Pippen beats him off the dribble. The Cartwright knocks over Ewing. That'll be an offensive foul on Bill Cartwright.
Well, Cartwright went right at Darryl Garrison, and he said, underneath the rim. He's standing underneath the rim. Now keep an eye on this. You're going to see it. Now once the pass is made, Cartwright makes his move. Now he was out a little, but you know yourself, you're never getting that call.
Patrick got it. Knicks will have the last shot.
Now Phil Jackson, you give him credit right there. He went after Darryl Garrison also.
Ewing from 17, a little strong. Not the shot you'd want in the final seconds. Smith trying to hustle. Starks. And Pete Myers called a timeout at 20. I didn't think he had possession. That is why that play, you got to wonder when there's no place to go and you're rolling around like that. But I tell you, that was tough to see if he actually had possession of the basketball when he called the timeout.
Well, we're going to see here right now whether they're going to give it to them on the side or whether we have a jump ball.
Well, the official, Hugh Holland, signaled a 20-second timeout. It's a little difficult to see on the replay, but let's take a look at it.
Now, you just keep an eye on it right now. The ball is loose, and, you know, from our angle, no one really had possession. You can see that one hand is in on that. And let's face it, you cannot make a catch in this situation and shoot the basketball. There must be a .3 on the clock. So in this situation, it must be a long pass and a tap.
There's only 0.2 of a second left in the half, but not a good shot for the Knicks to end the quarter. But the Chicago Bulls scoreless the last 4.5 minutes as they end the second half. The Knicks ended on an 8-0 run thanks to Charles Smith as he collects 14 points, 10 in the second quarter. The Chicago Bulls led by Scottie Pippen with 16, but they hit a drought the last 4.5. We're at halftime with the Bulls leading by 1. Ernie and George are next.
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok, to remind you that on Planet Reebok, there are no rules.
24 minutes in the books at the Garden in New York. Chicago with a 1-point lead over the New York Knicks. Ernie Johnson and George Karl here in Atlanta with the Reebok halftime report. Put this first half in a nutshell for me, Coach.
Surprising to style for me. It's a much more of an offensive game, a quick game, a lot of jump shots. I think the style of Chicago is shooting the ball very well from the outside, and New York's not shooting the ball very well from the outside, but playing well inside with Patrick Ewing leading them and Charlie Smith leading them inside. The
Bulls had a 21-7 run to end the first period. At the end of the second quarter, however, their last 4.5 minutes, they went without a field goal. It's 46-45 Bulls. In case you missed the news out of San Antonio tonight, the Spurs announced that John Lucas will remain head coach. His future was in doubt after San Antonio's first-round loss to Utah. Craig Sager has more from San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio, the fallout continues from an opening playoff loss to Utah. There are 22 investors who own the Spurs. However, it is General Robert McDermott, retired in name only, who calls the shots. Last week, he accepted the resignation of team president Bob Coleman. And today, he ended speculation by reassigning Vice President Bob Bass and announcing the fate of Coach John Lucas.
First, we want to affirm that John Lucas is the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. We are proud of the team's achievements in John's first full season as an NBA head coach. The board has full confidence in John. We are proud to have him as coach of the Spurs and as an asset to the city.
The Spurs need John Lucas to handle Dennis Rodman, whose contributions have been an asset, but whose behavior has been an embarrassment.
There are many minuses, perhaps in one's views about his behavior, but we think that's sort of a marketing, a way to market himself, and maybe he brings more fans into the stadium. We don't know. But anyway, the overall evaluation was he was a very important person and player on the team for this past season.
Craig Sager, our playoff nomad. He has been everywhere. How about the story out of Salt Lake City? The owner of the Jazz, Larry Miller, got into a pushing and shoving match with a couple of Denver fans last night before the second half started. One of those fans has filed a complaint with police, and we are told NBA Commissioner David Stern is looking into the situation. Denver, of course, won that game in Utah in double overtime, cutting the Jazz lead to 3-2. When the Reebok halftime report continues, we'll explore the Nuggets' knack for the comeback. Pivotal Game 5, as they say at the Garden. The Bulls with a 46-45 lead over the Knicks as the Reebok halftime report continues. George, I know you've been looking forward to this segment, a chance to talk about the Denver Nuggets, near and dear to your heart, but this has really been a remarkable postseason story, has it not?
I think it's now everybody's trying to figure out if it was not a fluke. And after our series, after our nightmare with them, as a coaching staff, we felt the Denver Nugget team had as much versatility and talent, up to 8 men, as any team that we played, especially at the offensive end of the court. They have many different looks. They can come at you in many, many different ways. And in our series, 3 or 4 different players were the reason they won, on top of Mutombo's great presence.
Yeah, this is a Denver Nugget team which plays its best with its backs to the wall, because remember in that first series, Seattle had taken the first 2, the Nuggets took the next 3, and here they lost the first 3 against Utah. But who are these guys, you ask? And there's Reggie Williams, who had a little bit of playoff experience. Robert Pack is a kid who had 14 games of playoff experience, was their most experienced performer in the postseason. He can really make things happen. He's electrifying. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, the touch from the outside. Didn't have a great series against you, but he's picked it up.
Williams and Roof are great shooters, big-time NBA shooters. Pack had the great 5th game against us, had the big night last night against Utah.
LaFonso Ellis.
And LaFonso Ellis in Game 4 and Game 5 against us was their go-to guy.
There's Rodney Rogers, the Demon Deacon, coming off the bench strong in a couple of games in that Seattle series. Brian Williams, with a new life out there in Denver.
Brian Williams is a surprise player. I think right now everybody is fearful of him. When they play Mutombo and Williams together, they're as big and as effective as anybody. But the key is Mutombo. Mutombo's presence at the defensive end of the court is their confidence. It's almost like their heart. And what he's doing against Utah, he did against us. He's averaging six blocks a game. But they're a very cocky team when they know Mutombo's there.
That Dan Issel has all these guys to work with, but it won't mean much unless you know how to put these guys together and what mix will work, and he's done that.
Great job. Our series, we were afraid of matchups all the time coming from their bench, especially with their bigs and their littles. Their bigs, they have the ability to play Ellis or Rogers at the 3 position, or they can play Brian Williams at 4. And Ellis is a great runner, great offensive rebounder, out-quicks people, as Brian Williams can outpower people. Rogers is a low block post-up player, a young player, but had good games against us. Also can shoot the three-point shot. As for the Littles, last night in the game against Utah, you have Pack and Roof coming in the overtime, defeating them, playing very, very well. Reggie Williams had a great game against us in Game 3 in our series, made a couple big threes last night. And Stiff is like their defensive dimension in the backcourt. You have Stiff and Mutombo, defensive-minded players, very tough-minded players. And then they have a lot of other good, very good offensive skilled players and different offensive skilled players.
That is going to be a wild scene at McNichols tomorrow, because before that game tomorrow night, the Rockies play at home. You know, they share the same parking lot. It's going to be a festival out there, and it's going to be madness because Utah's lead has been cut to 3-2 as they go to Game 6 at McNichols. We'll see it here on TNT tomorrow night. And the Reebok halftime report continues after this.
We are back in the Garden, Game 5 with the Knicks and the Bulls, a best-of-7 series tied at 2 games apiece. The Knicks led by as many as 11, the Bulls by 9, along with UB Brown, Amarathul. And this is a case of 3 different ball games. First, we had the Knicks starting out. Then for 14 minutes, it was the Bulls. And the final 4 minutes of the half, it was all New York, Gibby.
Well, I think you have to say that transition has been the key. The New York 8-0, then a spurt by Chicago, 16-2. Then New York finishes the quarter with another 6-0, all in transition. When the teams are running their half-court sets, we're seeing Chicago making their threes, New York getting to the foul line.
Now let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first 24 minutes of play.
Now you're going to see right now a miss air ball, an excellent look by Oakley, and then you see Patrick Ewing going one-on-one here out of transition. Now Patrick for the half is 6 for 13. Now at this end, you're going to see Oakley slapping this away. B.J. Armstrong making a big shot coming off of a screen. B.J. 9 points in that half. Now this is the guy who is really doing it. Scottie Pippen 2 for 4 in threes, 16 points at halftime. Down here, Charles Smith. We said right up there at the beginning, this is the guy. He and Mason must give it to them. Charles Smith, big first half, 14 points, 6 for 10 from the field. The free throws are there, the Knicks with 7 critical misses. Ewing 5 for 5, then he ended the half 1 for 8.
Well, even Pat Riley says big wins for New York, and right now the big was Charles Smith, 14 points in that first half, most off the break. There you see the runs. The first 6, next 14 belong to Chicago. The final 4 belong to the Knicks. Patrick Ewing, the first 6 minutes, he was 5 for 5. Since then, he is just 1 of 8, only 3 points. Scoreless in that second quarter. Third quarter underway.
Right now, he should take Ewing. Take him strong.
He has to give it up to Grant over the outstretched hands of Charles Oakley.
Well, it's nice to see Grant get involved here. In that first half, he was only 2 for 6 with 4 rebounds, 2 on the offensive board.
Same starting 5. Game 6 will be played Friday night in Chicago, and we will be there. Starks finds a little room, has a slap from behind. We have a whistle on a foul.
That time, Scottie Pippen came right over and trapped Starks. There was no place for Starks to go. I thought he was behind the backboard. That was going to be a very difficult attempt.
John Starks in that first half did not hit a field goal. 0 for 3. He was 0 for 2 from the arc. His only points coming from the strike.
Same thing with John Starks, though, is he's a bandit. You know that once he gets cooking, it doesn't make a bit of difference. He can be 0 for 15. He'll take the next 6 straight shots.
It's called the shooter's mentality, isn't it? They all believe that the next 5 will fall. They figure if you missed your first 7, you'll make your next 7, you're 50%. And Starks gets them both to go. It's a 1-point advantage still by Chicago. We have played just over 40 seconds here at the Garden. Over 19,000, another sellout.
Starks now 28 for 31 in this series from the foul line.
Pippen, they'd like to force him to the baseline. They don't want him to beat him off the dribble.
Well, see, I like that. See, anytime that Ewing picks him up, he just takes Ewing, and that's just a big basket. Anytime that he comes off of a pick and roll, this is very good strategy by Pat Riley right now. Calling a 20-second timeout, they must clean this up. because when Pippen comes off the screen and roll, they trap. He then goes out towards half court. Ewing matches up with a man-to-man. Then he takes Ewing off the dribble, and it is execution, 2 wide open jump shots. I see it right here. Now, he just made one, a pass to Grant on the other side. Now he hits Cartwright down on the baseline, Billy's favorite area, and 2 for 2. See, that's smart basketball. That's all by design, all by coaching, making the little adjustments, the nuances from game to game. And Pat Riley knew that he was in trouble right now. He has to change how they're going to defend.
Takes the quick timeout, trailing by 3, and they have the basketball. Pippen already with a couple of assists here in the second half.
It's a screen on the baseline for Smith.
Smith just turns around, pulls the trigger, doesn't get it. Starks fights for the rebound, can't come up with it.
Well, they love to post Charles Smith in the first quarter and in the third quarter. Try to get him within a rhythm. They screen across with John Starks, looking for you to make a switch. If you don't, you're going to be behind him, posting up.
The Bulls came into this game very confident because they said they played extremely well in the first 2. Only to lose in the fourth quarter. Pippen, that's going to be short off the iron. Rebound, Oakland.
Excellent defense that time by Charles Smith.
Anthony to the hole. His second driving layup.
That's what he needs. He needs the confidence of the building, not only his peers.
Right.
He's got to get a feel. We told you he struggled in game 4, going 2 for 13. Everyone was on his case. They said he did not get the ball to Patrick Ewing. You did not make your wide open shot. You turned the ball over 4 times. That's a lot of pressure on a guy, because they know that the only other guy that can step in here now is Corey Gaines. Nice strong move, and he takes it with his offhand, a little right-handed baby hook.
Well, Pat Riley said we've been developing Greg Anthony for 3 years. He was going to stick with him. Tonight, Anthony 2 of 4, 4 assists. He has only 1 turnover, and I think that's the key. And Pat Riley has tried to give him the confidence. I'm still going to go with the young man.
Well, you know, that's great to say, but that's hard to do if the guy's not getting it done. And we told you, in his first 3 years, he shot 37, 41, and 39, and only 25% in 3. But I give him his due. In the last month of the season and in the playoffs, his three-point shooting outstanding.
Inside, Pippen, Smith, and Ewing on the double. 6 to shoot. Armstrong, the baseline. Oh, over the outstretched hands of Patrick Ewing.
In this series, he's been dynamite. Anytime he gets down in there, he uses that little head and shoulder fake and gets off a nice shot.
Rebound by Cartwright. Bulls lead it by 3, 9:37 left in the third. Pressure really on the Knicks tonight. You'd hate to go to Chicago with the Bulls having a chance to wrap this series up. Armstrong again.
Uncanny. You know, it's something which he really did not do a lot of throughout his career with Chicago. And that is keep the dribble and get into the paint.
Fifth-year pro out of Iowa, now 6 of 8, 13 points. We have a whistle as the Knicks got away with throwing the ball away. And we take a look at tonight's TMC truck scoreboard. Scores from last night. What a game we had on TNT. Atlanta beating Indiana. Big game for Craig Helo. Denver, double overtime over Utah. Houston clobbers Phoenix.
Two-man game. Starts in Ewing.
Ewing can't get it to go. Oakley, the offensive rebound and a putback.
We told you throughout this series, he's averaging 5.5 offensive rebounds a game. In that first half, he only had 1. Grant doing a good job with him.
The fourth quarter has been the devastating one here in the Garden for the Bulls this playoff series.
Good ball movement.
Anthony out on Armstrong. Whistle going to be on Anthony. Reached out, grabbed B.J. Armstrong's jersey. That is number 2 on Anthony. Only the first team foul for the Knicks here in the second half.
Bulls doing an excellent job in spurts of running the offense and swinging the ball from side to side.
Cartwright, the left-handed hook won't go. Oakley with the rebound, and he throws it to Daryl Garrison. 10th rebound to no avail.
Unfortunately, Cartwright leaves this one short. He's 1 for 4, and that's just bad basketball, lack of communication.
Well, Pat Riley said game 4 they were careless. They were very sloppy. Something they talked about and worked on the last couple of days in practice. Armstrong has to kick it out. Myers from 18.
See, Myers and Kerr must hit those shots at that 2-guard position.
Quickly down low to Ewing, who gives it up.
Go right back.
Toss it out. Cartwright gets a piece of it.
Anytime that the postman gets double teamed and he passes it out, take a look right back at him, because that forces the defender to be in a one-on-one situation.
Well, that's time for the double team. 3-point Bulls lead.
They must get Patrick involved and get his confidence back.
Myers forces Starks baseline, so he kicks it out. Starks for 3. There it is, Hubie. We talked about it.
He's something else. He's now 7 for 22 in threes in this series.
His ticket in the NBA was defense. But now that he's in there, it's turned into shooting. Tied at 54. Running out of time here. 2 to shoot. Grant throws up the prayer, doesn't get it. Myers with the offensive rebound. Pippen wants it back.
Nice.
Grant from 18.
Nice. See, that's heads-up play. Myers was trapped, made the pass to Cartwright. The old story, when they rotate, make them pay, make the second pass out of the trap.
Starks trying to get it down low to Ewing. Ewing's going to set the pick. 7 to shoot. Anthony for 3. Nailed it.
See, this is the part of his game which contradicts everything else. He's now 6 for 15. He's shooting about 38% in threes in this series.
First Knicks lead since it was 22-21. Crowd chanting defense. The Knicks, the #1 defense in the NBA during the regular season. Pippen left alone, takes Oakley off the dribble with Ewing going down. No, they call it an offensive foul.
Once again, Ewing picks up the offensive foul by the basket. This is a strong move by Pippen. Now keep an eye on it. He blows right by Oakley. And as he gets in here, see, right now, they're upset because they feel he's under the rim. The unwritten rule in the NBA is that you must be out from the basket in the lane areas, all right, in order to get the charge call. Now you're going to see, this is the unwritten rule. Now keep an eye on Pippen's left elbow. There it is right in Ewing's face, and that is the second score that Ewing has negated. Now he was punished that time because he took that elbow right on the face and in the teeth.
Last 2 50s belong to the Knicks. 8-2 run. Knicks by 1. No changes in the lineup. Whistle, pushing foul.
Well, right now, see, Cartwright's upset on that one. He feels that Starks ducked underneath him. See, Cartwright is complaining right now because he was moving. That's Cartwright's 4th foul.
Oakley triggers the inbounds pass.
2-man game, Starks and Ewing.
Ewing trying to get position on Cartwright. Cartwright takes a slap at it. 18 on the shot clock.
Any time that Starks catches the ball, he is not taking his time, Ron. You do not pass the ball to the pivot man unless he calls for it. If he'll just wait a second, Cartwright is trying to front. He can throw over the top, but he continues to force the pass.
Bill Jackson pleading his case to the officials. Going to bring in Longley. Cartwright is going to have to sit down with 4 fouls.
Now, right now, the Knicks should go right into Ewing. Try to take advantage of Patrick in a one-on-one situation. Oh, nice move.
Starks reverse. What a shot, John Starks. Unbelievable.
Were you the guy that was questioning starts.
I never question anybody from Oklahoma. It's a rule.
I mean, you know yourself. I mean, he just plays in peaks and valleys, and he never lets it upset him. Now, just watch this strong move. Longley's down here, but he's late.
You're talking Luke Longley, every bit of 7'2".
See, Starks never laid that ball up on the left side. He came right underneath, and Longley guessed.
Just the way you taught it at 5-star.
Nah,
Use the bat.
Boy. That's only the 4th miss in 32 foul shot attempts in this series for Starks.
7 for Starks in the quarter. The lead is 3 by New York. Starks kicks it out to Ewing. Good save, Smith. 5 to shoot. Pulls it from 10. Got the roll.
Well, they were really lucky on that. Ewing made a great save of that pass by Starks.
Pippen in strong, knocks Oakley down. It's going to be a blocking foul on Charles Oakley. He was about a half a second late.
You're going to see Scottie Pippen here turn the corner. Now watch as comes into your screen here. Oakley is going to move underneath. They felt now. Hugh Hollins had a perfect look at that. He was right behind him. You're going to see it right there. Now, a lot of people say, hey, he was definitely stopped. I felt, in my opinion, that was a charge.
Myers has it tipped away by Starks right into the hands of Grant, who buries the jumper.
By the way, I have not been right yet on a charge block tonight. Okay? I am now 0 for 3.
I wasn't going to mention it. At least we'll have a couple of games together.
No Ronan up here.
Knicks still lead by 3. Anthony shaking and making inside. Oakley with his 4th point of the quarter.
Both teams overcompensating for any dribbler. And you know that the kickout is open.
Scottie Pippen comes right back and drills his 3rd 3 of the ball game. 19 for Pippen. The lead is down to 2 for the Knicks. Ewing wants the ball. Longley out here.
Well, you must trap Patrick. You cannot let him get into that one-on-one situation.
Anthony, the running jumper. Greg Anthony taking the challenge, put forth and taking advantage of it.
He could grow up immeasurably for you right now. This is a ton of pressure on him this evening, and I'm happy for him that he's making some field goals.
Ewing can't catch up with Pippen. His 3 won't go. Here comes Ewing, gets it to Smith.
When you force a 3-point shot, it's an unexpected shot. It will rebound long. The other 4 guys are not ready. They were all below the foul line. If the opposition gets that rebound, they are on the run.
That's the ovation for Charles Smith. We talked about the guard play. The Knicks needed to shoot the ball better. Oakley's shot is off. Longley controls. In the first half, Anthony and Starks 1 of 6. In the 3rd quarter, Hubie, they're perfect. 6 of 6. Oakley on Grant. Oakley tips it away. Here comes Mason. All the way to the hole. The finger roll.
Well, he can dribble. No doubt about that. He's a big man. At 6'8", 250 pounds. But they allow him to dribble and handle the middle of the break. Now keep an eye. He's struggling here. Now once he blew by Pippen, they had a 3-on-2.
Is this going to be a Cinderella story? The Knicks lead it by 6 with 3:53. Bill Murray, an avid Bulls fan, looking on. Hawks and the Nuggets both won last night to stay alive in their series. Craig Elo, big game last night, but Mookie Blaylock ignited the Hawks in that win over Indiana last night.
Had a triple-double.
Second win for Atlanta. Also, the Rockets with a 3rd straight. Hakeem and Otis Thorpe, big games. Suns guards have struggled.
Well, you've got to like the inside game with Olajuwon and Thorpe. They are playing great basketball right now for Houston.
I had Houston in the Portland series, and I'll tell you, Rudy Tomjanovich has them believing. They are a very confident basketball club, but there's still a lot of basketball left.
Once again, this game, peaks and valleys, spurts.
Armstrong inside. B.J. Armstrong continues the spectacular play.
Hey, not only does he get the shot off, he scores. He's 7 for 9 this evening, having a great ball game. But more important, nobody blocks his shot.
Nobody puts a body on him. Starks continuing to light it up, keeps the perfection going in the second half.
Well, he'll keep going right now at Steve Kerr. He'll test Kerr's defensive ability, and let's see what happens.
New York is at 9 of the last 11. B.J. Armstrong has hit 2 of his last 2. 17 for Armstrong in the ball game.
It's like BJ's playing horse. He's playing by himself. Every time he elevates and shoots, we do not even see a defender in the area.
Starks again, doesn't get it. Let's see if BJ, who's 4 of 4 in this quarter, can come back. Mason guarding Pippen. Mason did an excellent job in game 2 on Scottie Pippen here in the Garden. Armstrong gives it up. Longley left open from 15, makes him pay.
Longley, Wennington, they can hit that shot facing the basket.
Hubert Davis, who didn't see much playing time in that first half, getting ready to check back into the Knicks lineup, only 7 minutes.
There's that trap. Now they force the Knicks out of their offense and make them scramble.
Ewing from way outside. Oakley kicks it. Starks hustling for it. Ewing will come up with the basketball. That's what Charles Oakley was talking about, throwing your body down on the floor for those loose balls.
The Knicks have got to get into something power. On the next foul, they're shooting the penalty.
Mason pulls the trigger.
In the first half, he did not score from the field. He had some foul shot attempts, but they're getting maximum mileage out of Mason and Smith at the small forward position.
Williams and Kukoc will check in. The lead is 4 with 1:41 left in the third. Bulls on top. Pippen stops. Pulls the trigger. That bank is open.
I tell you, he's dynamite. And you know, he hits that board with a hard shot, Ron. That's not a soft shot.
And it sticks. How about Patrick Ewing? 0 for 6 since the first quarter. All 14 of his points in the opening 12 minutes. Oakley from 19. They're getting production.
Everything for the Knicks in the last 5 minutes is a jump shot, though, Ron. They're not getting inside. They have not been able to take advantage of the fact that the next foul would be a foul shot attempt.
And it's been that way since about the 4.5-minute mark that the Bulls have been sitting on 14 fouls. Armstrong calls a timeout as Ewing ties him up. 56.6 left in the third. The Knicks on top.
Now keep an eye on Pippen as he makes this move, the elevation, and then the hard bank shot. Mason gets caught. Oakley, not enough pressure. That was Pippen's 21st point. He's 8 for 16. Now you can see the good rotation, the kick out to Oakley. Now the Oak man, he knocks that one down, but like we say, uncharacteristically for them, everything is perimeter. Now that's Oakley's 12th point, and he has 10 rebounds.
Does this cause Chicago maybe to come out and respect that outside shot, thus allowing Patrick Ewing to get a good look at the basket underneath?
No, I say that, you know, you got to cut off the lane. Do not allow them to beat you down inside. The more shots they take perimeter, they never get to the foul line.
And as we mentioned, they've been sitting on 14 fouls for about 4.5 minutes. And we see the Knicks during the season and during the playoffs, the point differential has pummeled, especially against the Chicago Bulls.
Well, the main factor is that they're having difficulty scoring points. They're doing an excellent job in points against, field goal percentage against, but then again, you must score at the other end of the floor.
Which has been their problem the whole season. They averaged only 98 points a game during the regular season, 93 during the playoffs. 8 to shoot for the Bulls. Kukoc checks in. He'll trigger the inbounds pass. Bulls now going with Kukoc, Kerr, Armstrong, Grant.
6 seconds on the clock.
Longley spins, doesn't get it. Rebound controlled by the men in white, Herb Williams. Mason will play point guard.
Longley is not shooting that hook shot. He's throwing it.
Right. Davis pocket picked by Kerr. Armstrong with Anthony to beat. The spin move, kicked out of bounds. Last touch by the Chicago Bulls, they say.
They corrected it. That's a good call. That was definitely off a Knicks. Now, B.J. Kerr knocks this ball loose. B.J. tries to watch his reverse move. See, there's a little push off, but now watch what happens. Right off the foot of Anthony Mason.
No, we have a whistle and a foul called after the pass. And that'll be only the 13th foul on the Knicks. Fouls out Williams, his first.
That's their first in the last 2 minutes. So the next one will be the penalty. Right now, it will be Chicago ball on the side.
31.7 left in the quarter. The Bulls led by 1 at the end of the first half. They trail by 4. Long looking for someplace to go with it.
Plenty of time.
Kukoc likes to take Mason off the dribble. Great ball fake, Grant, and he makes him pay again.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Anytime that you make your catch, you should be in position to catch and shoot or catch and ball fake. Once the defender commits himself like Mason did, then you beat him off the dribble.
8 in the quarter for Grant. He's 4 of 5 in this 12 minutes.
They continue to go for this trap. Make the Knicks freelance.
Last touch by the Bulls. Well, they have it. Boy, that was close.
Kukoc felt that ball went off Herb Williams.
Yeah. Williams retracted the hands quickly. 2.5 to shoot. Anthony blocked by Kukoc, and that's the way we'll end the third quarter. But it was a good one for the Knicks. Charles Smith, John Starks, as Starks checks in. 11 points in the quarter for Starks, 4 of 5. He also nailed a 3. We head to the final 12, the Knicks by 2. The final 12 minutes of Game 5 from Madison Square Garden in New York, and the scoring after a low second quarter. Both teams heated up in the third.
Well, the Bulls, this is the position you'd like to put yourself in. You got a chance to win this one, but the fourth quarter, in games 1 through 3, you can see the Knicks outscored them 29-16 and then buried him with the field goal percentage. In game 4, everyone said, well, the Bulls did it. Hey, they only scored 16 points in that game 4 in that last quarter. Unfortunately for the Knicks, they only scored 18. So the difference in the fourth quarter has been 24-16 points. Patrick Ewing, no, that's not Patrick Ewing. That was
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen said even though he sits on the bench, he feels the emotion. Patrick Ewing was in the locker room between the quarters. He's coming back out now. Outside, Charles Oakley again. The big guy's moving outside. Here he is. Patrick Ewing has not scored since the first quarter. 0 for 6 since that quarter. And the Knicks still lead by 4. Whistle, foul. Mason can't believe it.
Now, this is the third time we've brought up this point. Pat Riley made a film clip of Kukoc and Pippen beating the Knicks off the dribble. And he showed it. It was 21 minutes long. And you can see, once again, Kukoc comes in and beats another guy off the dribble.
Williams, Paxson, and Kerr getting the starting nod here in the fourth.
Plenty of time, good ball movement, taking it from side to side.
Mason forcing Kukoc way outside, a whistle. The Charles Oakley whistle for the foul, and that is Oakley's third in the ballgame.
Well, that time, Scott Williams was going to try to get in and post up, and Oakley just sent them about 4 feet away from the area that he was trying to get to.
Oakley right in Williams' face right now, the top of your screen. Oakley not giving him an inch. Nice job lobbing it inside to Williams. Whistle, he walked with it, will go the other way. Oakley wants the basketball.
That was a beautiful pass. Unfortunately, a poor catch, and then he lost his balance. Scott Williams was wide open.
Scott Williams has done a lot of talking in the paper the last couple of days. Said the Knicks, Pat Riley, are very tight. Here's Davis. Anthony, Kerr meets him. 8 to shoot. Inside, doesn't get it. The putback won't go. Longley the rebound. Taken away, but they give it right up.
Herb Williams was shocked. That came right in his hands, and he missed the bunny.
Surprise. They're working off the pick. Williams comes over to help. Scott Williams underneath, rejected by Herb Williams, his second block of the game.
Herb Williams, when he was at Indiana, he consistently averaged over 14 points a game and one of the premier shot blockers. Watch him come in here right now.
6 to shoot for the Bulls. They trail it by 4, 10.5 left. Longley inside, Scott Williams with the slam. He looks right at Charles Oakley.
Oh, that was a beautiful pass. I told you, that's Longley's strong suit. He sees, he's got good eyes, and he can pass off the dribble.
And he did a little taunting afterward, and Oakley talked with him on the way down.
Trying to post Mason.
Lost the handle, whistle. That's going to be a push underneath to Hugh Howard.
Solid call. Solid call by you. That was a screen across the lane. We had a guard screen for Mason coming across. Kukoc was behind him and then tried to fight. Now keep an eye on this. Now just watch this. He's trying to fight the front. Now the push.
Ewing in, Williams out. Corey Gaines will come in for Anthony in a moment. Now Longley just pushing Ewing aside. No double yet. Kukoc comes over to help. Ewing with the fall away from behind the board. His first 2 since the opening quarter.
And that's the first time that he has taken his pet shot. First time tonight that he has thrown that fade away from that area.
He's shown us some new wrinkles, but not bad. Anthony, good job defensively knocking it away from Williams. And we'll have a timeout with 9:35 left in the ball game. The Knicks lead it by 4. Here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Rebounds and Ewing.
Well, you can see both teams are fighting off and doing a pretty good job because we have 2 of the premier offensive rebounding teams in this league. At the other end, you see that Patrick Ewing was struggling. Hey, but once he made that, no telling what might happen. Now, I'd like to show you right here what happened. Here you have the defender fronting. When this pass is made, you're going to see Greg Anthony get a piece of it. Why? Because his man comes and brings him right into the action. Now, there's the perfect lob. Kerr never should have come down into that area. They just blew an opportunity for a layup.
And Scott Williams pleading his case to Dan Crawford, the official. But the quality of the play, we talked at the top of the show, neither team has played exceptionally well in this series. In the second half, they're playing a lot better. Only 6 turnovers for the two, combined for 21 in the first.
You've got to find the free guy when you make that pass.
Williams a triple fake. Ewing still blocks the shot.
Oh, that was weak. See, that was a weak move. He made himself small, Ron. You know, Scott Williams is 6'10". He's got to go up strong with that with 2 hands.
He's a big guy, too, at 230 pounds. Mason waits for the double team by Kerr. They give it right back to him. Shaken and Bacon lost the dribble. 4 to shoot. Knicks retain possession. Ewing to step inside. He hung just long enough to drop it.
All he needed was a pit stop. He just had to get to the locker room, that's all. Since he's come back, he's 2 for 2. We have a new man out there. Patrick is energized.
4 points in the quarter for Ewing. Longley backing in. Ewing lets him take the shot. He misses it. Comes up with the rebound. Ewing with 8 boards tonight.
Now, he's had 4 opportunities below the dotted line in the paint. You know, that shot is makeable for him.
Corey Gaines substituting for Derek Harper. Ewing has a shot blocked by Longley. Try it again. Short. Longley bodied up to him well.
And speaking of bodies are hitting the floor
slightly. Longley tries to throw it off the backside of Hubert Davis. Whistle and a foul.
Now, he was cutting. And this goes to show you the court vision that Longley has. He was cutting to the left side of the ring. He made that catch. And he caught it and was trying to go to the right corner to John Paxson, who was spotting up for a 3.
That's the 3rd team foul on the Knicks, and they still have well over 8 minutes left to be played in this ballgame. That could be a factor considering how well Chicago shot free throw tonight. That is the passing of Luke Longley.
See, the man can pass. They take the trap. They immediately hit Longley. And they're relying on Longley to pick out the free guy. Where was Scott Williams? His man left to pick up Longley right in front of the basket.
Corey Gaines has to give it up to Oakley, who gives it right back up to Gaines. Oakley left open from 19. Ewing trying to get the offensive rebound, couldn't hang on to it. 4-point Knick lead, 7:40 left to be played in the ballgame. Outside, Kukoc for 3. Tony Kukoc, his first 3 of the game.
He's now 5 for 10 in threes in this series.
Member of the all-rookie second team, Davis is tripped inside, goes down hard to the floor. Charles Smith will come in. He'll be joined by Greg Anthony and John Scottie. Oakley, Gaines, and Davis sit down.
You have to admire Tony Kukoc right here. He was looking for the shot. Now, you see, his man, not that far off of him, and then he shot it without a bounce.
Bad pass, Smith on the inbounds pass. Tried to get it to Ewing. Longley was right there.
Yeah, he wanted the screen.
Longley with a wraparound pass over to Williams. Doesn't get the jumper. Ewing with his 11th rebound.
Once again, Luke Longley finds the open man.
1 point Nick lead.
He's got to give Mason the ball. Anytime that Kukoc is on the top side, you've got to give him the ball.
Smith from the arc goes halfway down and pops out, and the Bulls have a chance to regain the lead.
This unit on the floor right now has done a nice job for Chicago. Good ball movement, recognizing the trapping and finding the free people.
We talked about their bench needing to step up here in the Garden. They were non-existent in the first two contests. Kukoc has it stripped by Mason, and we have a foul on Anthony Mason. His third.
And the fourth foul for the quarter for the Knicks.
Well, folks, go to the store early tomorrow morning because we've got a triple header coming your way tomorrow night. We start things off at 7 o'clock. It'll be the Hawks and the Pacers. 9 o'clock, the Jazz and the Nuggets. At 11:30, the Rockets and the Suns, all tomorrow night right here on TNT as we have a low-scoring third quarter so far. The Knicks having scored 6 points, 7 for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen has sat the first 5.5 minutes of this quarter.
Well, we have 6:24 up there right now. You can see Scottie Pippen in the first quarter, you know, has struggled throughout this series. Now, Tony Kukoc at the line. Until this point in this game, Chicago bench have outscored New York 19-11, and they've out-rebounded them 10-7 with Luke Longley 6 rebounds.
Peter, are you surprised that Scottie Pippen hasn't played this quarter? That was an ugly shot.
Well, Phil's going with the guys that are playing well. He's staying with them. Now, unfortunately, Kukoc comes up empty with those two.
And now he calls for Scottie Pippen, who comes up off the bench, topping the screen. Anthony looks at the three. Smith's body up. Not a good pass. Regains it. Doesn't get it. Mason, nice job keeping it alive. Knicks can't track it down.
Well, Charles just left two shots short. Pip said, right there, Phil said, I'm going to come with Pippen now and take out Paxson. So that means right now Pippen will be in the backcourt. So up front, they have Longley, Scott Williams, and Kukoc. Pippen in the backcourt matched up with John Starks.
Right into the hands. Kerr started to cut, and then he pulled back. Anthony, the big strip.
Nice.
What a look by Greg Anthony. That was a perfect pass.
That look was by default because Luke Longley was going to send that one someplace. But a great pass. And then Ewing followed the play.
Ewing was 6 in the fourth after going scoreless in the second and third.
Pippen wants the back Starks down. Nice fake.
Doesn't get the shot. The fourth quarter woes continue for Scottie Pippen. Ewing has had the last 6 points for New York. They got to call the foul on Pippen, only his second.
That was a beautiful head fake by John Starks to get Pippen up in the air. Now keep an eye. Watch what happens here. Here's Luke Longley. They drop off. Woo! Send it down, Patrick.
Now the Knicks with 14 fouls. The Bulls with 3 as they're making wholesale changes. Armstrong back in. Cartwright comes back into the lineup. Horace Grant comes in. So the starters back in with the exception of Tony Kukoc. Armstrong looking for the pick set by Ewing. They double up on Starks. He throws it up to Ewing. Oh my goodness, if he would have made that, that would have been a prayer answered tenfold.
Unfortunately for Chicago, they played that perfectly. A great trap on the side, a beautiful lob pass to Patrick, and he was under the rim. No way could this shot go in. Here's the trap. Now watch what happens. They front Patrick. Now watch as he falls back. He had no chance to make that shot.
Kukoc picks up his third personal foul, the fourth team foul. Knicks said Patrick Ewing was shooting. They wish.
Now, it's 4 fouls apiece. The next foul at either end was shooting the penalty. That's interesting that they called the foul before the shot attempt.
Right. Smith on top there, giving him a lot of room.
Well, there's no movement right now for the Knicks. No movement.
So Grant is on Anthony. There's got to be a mismatch somewhere. Smith from 15 over Kukoc short. Rebound, the putback won't go. A lot of bodies flying. Anthony comes out of the pass. And Anthony wisely calls a timeout. A 20-second timeout. Let's see if they decide to take a
Gal Gauson said they do not have a 20.
Got to be a full
Must be
timeout.
a full.
4.5 left in the game. Pat Riley and the Knicks lead by 3. Pat Riley says the Knicks win ugly and they lose ugly. This is qualifying as ugly. 81-78. 3 timeouts for the Bulls. The Knicks with 2. Nobody has a foul to give. And you have to think about the fact the Knicks only scored 8 points in this quarter. Chicago hasn't exactly lit it up. 7 points. But Greg Anthony has accepted the challenge tonight.
Not only the 9 points, Ron, but the 8 assists. And he's really helping out on the board. And then the critical one, only 1 turnover.
Game 6 will be Friday night in Chicago. Who will go with the advantage?
Now, right now, we have 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Out of a timeout, you so desperately want a good shot. Anthony being guarded by Pippen.
Well, Pippen is smart. He's not letting him go to his strong hand.
Anthony with fall away with 2. Hits the rim, doesn't get it. Not a good shot. A lot of dribbling around.
Oakley stumbling here now. Somebody's open.
Starks yelling for help on Kukoc. Grant lets it fly over Ewing. Nothing but net. Horace Grant, great series.
Now that only happened because Oakley fell down in the backcourt. Ewing had to pick up his man. They were out of sync, and you saw Starks on Kukoc. So you cannot continue to waste all this time.
Anthony, Oakley who lets it fly, doesn't get it. Rebound, Tony Kukoc. Whistle went over the backboard. Bulls have it, trailing by 1.
No movement for the Knicks is resulting in perimeter shooting. They are not getting down inside. Both teams are shooting the penalty.
And Horace Grant has had the hot hand after missing his first 4 shots. He has hit 7 of his last 8. 10 to shoot.
5 seconds.
Pippen looks at the clock, wanting to clear out. There it is. He's 0 for 2 in the quarter. Ewing with the rebound.
He's got to get to that side of the court. See how Scottie Pippen's playing him? He will not allow him to go to that corner. See, so that just took them out of the 2-man game action.
Here comes Starks wheeling around, left open off the screen, and he buries it.
Now, B.J. Armstrong is hurting. He just got popped on that down screen by Patrick Ewing. You can see he is smarting as he's coming up on his left side of the floor.
It's his back or his hip.
Well, he really got popped. Ewing turned down. That's how Starks opened up.
And he is grimacing the whole time. Armstrong gets Anthony up in the air, still draws the foul despite the pain, and Armstrong quickly bends over.
Uncanny.
He's hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncanny. When he gets into that lane area, he has the presence. It almost looks like he's in slow motion. Now, keep an eye down here to the right. You're going to see a screen right there on B.J. Boom. Ewing gets him, see? Now, once the shot goes up, B.J., he takes his mouthpiece out. Now, whether he just lost his wind or what.
Well, after he drew that foul, he quickly bent over and just grabbed his knees. He was in a lot of pain.
Well, coming into this game, we tell you, B.J.'s been averaging 5 attempts. Now, right there, you can see, for the season, the Bulls 23. In the series, they're averaging 28. But then their free throw shooting has just been outstanding.
This is only their 9th free throw tonight. And they are 5 of 9 from the line. The lead belongs to the Knicks by 1 inside of 2.5.
Scottie Pippen doing a terrific job on Anthony. The clock is going down, and the Knicks do not get to what they want to do. Too many seconds.
Whistle and a foul. Scottie Pippen, 3 straight years all-defensive first team, picks up his 3rd foul.
Oh, he's done a terrific job on Anthony, forcing Anthony now to go to the foul line. But the thing that you admire about what Scottie is doing is the fact that he will not allow Anthony to get to the left side of the floor, so they're taking them out of their options. Anthony 4 for 8 from the foul line in this series.
Calmly knocks it down. 10 points now for Anthony, 8 assists, only 1 turnover. Pippen now with 3 personal fouls. He's 0 for 2 here in the quarter. And B.J. Armstrong, who was standing in front of us, he is still in pain. Continues to bend over.
Well, I think Ewing got him not only with a hip, but possibly with his right forearm.
Anthony gets the roll.
Solid game tonight by Greg Anthony.
Sparks on Pippen. Anthony will pick up Armstrong.
They're posting Pippen down inside. Starks is running him, forcing the ball reversal.
Inside of 2 minutes of the ball game. Mason cuts off Kukoc. 2 to shoot. Pippen. They're not going to get it off. A 24-second violation. The forte of New York.
The guy who made that possible. A good job by Starks fronting. A good job by jamming the passer. But then Patrick Ewing coming on that double team to force Pippen to pass the ball.
1:50 left to be played in the ball game.
See, they have got to run some other stuff. Good. This is better. Let Starks get the ball. Get up here, play 2-man basketball, and get Patrick Ewing in this game.
Ewing about to set another pick on Armstrong. There's the double. Ewing cuts through. The fake, the fall away, doesn't get it. The rebound, Pippen. He comes out of the pass. Oh, we're calling a blocking foul on Greg Anthony.
Oh, tough call.
Oh, my, tough call.
He definitely surprises Pippen by getting it. Keep an eye on this. See, he's right there. That ball hit off of his foot. Now keep an eye there. See, he's right there. He's moving. He's moving. All right, but unfortunately for Anthony, the ball hit his foot and could have been a loose ball.
Scottie Pippen's first points of the 4th quarter. First points in 4.5 minutes.
Chicago, 3 full timeouts. New York, 2.
The lead is down to 1 with 1:29 left to be played in the ball game.
I give Chicago all the credit in the world. Their half-court defense in the last 4 minutes has been outstanding. There's a screen across for Ewing to come, and here's the trap. See, they chase the ball away from the side, running time down.
8 to shoot. Starks, the fall away, short. Rebound Armstrong.
Bad angle.
Bulls trail by 1. 1:03 left to play.
Remember, New York, 3 timeouts remaining.
Cartwright way out front, 10 to shoot. 5 to shoot.
2-man game. He's inside of him.
Armstrong. What a basket, B.J. Armstrong.
Big time. Big time. 2-man game. He came off of that screen by Grant and the handoff and just took his time. Just watch how he reads it, and he gets that shoulder ahead and then the fade off the shot.
Let's go back in history. 1 year, the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks were looking to rebound in Game 5 after dropping 2 games in Chicago, but Charles Smith couldn't connect on 4 separate attempts. And Chicago stole the game 97-94. 2 days later, the Bulls wrapped up the series at home and, of course, went on to win their 3rd straight world title.
As we get into the 44 seconds remaining in this game, Chicago, 3 full timeouts. New York, only 1 timeout. The big thing now is, now just keep an eye as he comes back to his left. He gets a half, there it is there, the shoulder ahead, and then the fadeaway. Big shot by BJ. He's 9 for 11 from the field, 21 points. Now, you know they're going to get 2 possessions here, a minimum of 2. Big thing for the Knicks. Stop wasting so much time getting into what you want.
First lead for the Bulls in the quarter. Cartwright, that'll be his 5th personal foul. And they're in the penalty, so Ewing will go to the line.
See, that was good ball movement. They started out to one side of the floor. See, good teams will do that. They try to con you. They send you to one side, they ball reverse, right back to Patrick Ewing, who was on a down screen, opening him up. Cartwright, you know, through anxiety, pushed, definite foul.
Ewing, 6 points, 7 rebounds in the 4th quarter. He is only 2 of 6 from the line tonight. He may be praying over on the far side.
Well, he's 23 for 31 in the series. Plenty of time. The main thing here is that Chicago does not allow New York a second shot.
Ewing misses them both. So the Bulls have the opportunity to go up by 3, possibly 4. With the Knicks getting the last shot.
What you do not want to do now is commit a silly foul. The main thing for the Knicks right now, force them to shoot, get the rebound, and hold them to 1 shot.
Pippen, 4 to shoot. Armstrong for 3, back of the iron. Mason the rebound, a timeout with 7.6 left.
It could not have run out any better for the Knicks. Now the pressure will be on them to get the ball inbounds from half court and then execute within your offense.
Chicago has outscored the Knicks only 15-12 in this 4th and final stanza. They lead it by 1. The Knicks out of timeouts. Coach, you'd think that right now you want New York to go down low to that man right there, Patrick Ewing, but I think Chicago's going to be ready for that.
Yeah, the main thing right now, the Knicks have shot themselves in the foot during this quarter. Their execution has been pathetic, but that is also due to the great defense of Scottie Pippen on the point guard, Greg Anthony. The pressure on the Knicks right now to get the ball inbound. No 20-second timeout and no timeout available to them. Once they make the pass, usually Starks and Ewing are in some kind of 2-man basketball. Right now in the 4th quarter, Patrick Ewing 3 for 6. The rest of the Knicks 2 for 11. If this ball goes into Ewing, you know that everybody in the red shirt will be all over the top of Patrick Ewing. The key now, the pressure, will be on Charles Oakley to make a clean inbounds pass.
Coach won it for the Bulls in Game 3 at the last second. Now the Knicks have the opportunity to do likewise. Oakley triggering the inbounds pass. Grant will be on him. There's the delay of game warning to see exactly what New York does. Davis, Ewing, Anthony, and Starks for the Knicks.
Well, it was interesting because they had Davis come up and set a screen along with Ewing, and they rolled Anthony right over to the left-hand corner. And here comes Starks up the middle. Screen and roll with Ewing and Starks.
Starks has to kick it back out. Davis for the win. He's fouled on the play.
Fouled on the play.
Scottie Pippen fouled him with 2.1 left. He cannot believe it.
Wow.
And he has to just walk away from referee Hugh Hollins.
Wow, Phil Jackson very upset on that one. First of all, you've got to admire the play. The play was outstanding. There was so much movement in that. And then the down screen to free Starks. As Starks comes off the screen and roll, watch it now. Hubert Davis is coming up to the top of the screen. They're relying on Chicago to play the ball. Now, right there, from our angle, how can we tell? I mean, it's impossible. Scottie Pippen did not think that he fouled. Phil Jackson did not think. Davis, an outstanding free throw shooter.
He's 8 of 10 in this series. We are tied.
Now, remember, in this situation, Chicago has 3 timeouts remaining. 2 timeouts remaining because we're inside of 2 minutes.
And Jackson just took one of them. Timeout, 2.1 left. Davis at the line for the lead.
Now we're going to give you the end of that play. Now as the pass is made, here comes Pippen right there. Hold it right there. You can see the foul is right here. It's after the shot, okay? But he definitely fouls him. So there's 2.1 seconds. On the line, you have Hubert Davis, who was an 84% shooter during the year, 80 in this series. Now remember, the key fact is that Chicago still has one full timeout remaining. Now if you're Chicago, if he should miss, you have got to get up, rebound, and call timeout.
Hubert Davis has been struggling. Pat Riley says this young man has emotional stability. What he needs now is a free throw. Here he comes, the second-year pro out of North Carolina. Celebrated his birthday yesterday.
Now you can see the Knicks have been on the line all night long.
Timeout, Chicago, the Knicks lead.
2.8 seconds. We've been in so many, 2.1 seconds. We have been in so many of these in an NBA game. The game never ends. The major thing right now, the Knicks need maximum pressure on the passer. Do not allow the guy an uncontested look to deliver an open pass. Defensively, on all down screens, you must switch out and not allow a guy a catch. Because with 2.1 seconds, not only can you make the catch, but you can get in a full dribble and then also launch a shot. So that is there for whoever the individual is who makes this catch. Now, in previous games, the Bulls love to have everyone come to the ball and then throw a lob pass to the opposite side like they did with Kukoc in Game 3. As he pins his man, catches the ball, then he does not have to worry about anybody on the opposite side of the floor.
One timeout remaining for the Bulls. They trail by one. Kukoc was the hero with 1.8 left in Game 3. In the Chicago huddle. Will they go home with the series lead, or will it be New York?
Big factor here, there's a lot of pressure on the individual who is taking out the ball. Normally, it is Scottie Pippen.
Doc Rivers talking to Hubert Davis. Great job by the young second-year pro, just celebrating his 24th birthday yesterday. Fred Hickman, Mike Glenn coming up inside the NBA. Scores and highlights from tonight.
Now, this is interesting. They're bringing Pete Myers off the bench. He inbounded that pass to Tony Kukoc to win Game 3. Now, they are putting Oakley over the top. Now, we have Pippen, Grant, Kukoc, and Armstrong. Like we told you, the big thing is to switch out. Do not allow a guy to go to the front of the rim.
Pippen is in the ballgame. Myers is going to have to call the final timeout for the Bulls. No timeouts for Chicago. They have the ball. We'll step aside. 2.1 left. Phil Jackson trails by one. 87-86, 2.1 left to be played in the ball game. The Bulls with the basketball. Hubert Davis hitting a couple of free throws with 2.1 left to give the Knicks the lead.
Well, that time you had terrific pressure applied by Charles Oakley on the inbound passer, Pete Myers. You could see that he did not have vision to make a pass to the top of the circle or to the deep corner on the ball side of the floor. Now, right in that last alignment, the Bulls had 4 guys at the top of the circle, and what usually happens there, you have guys looping and then going to the rim. Big factor right now is that you still have got to make the pass inbound. The key, no lob to the front of the rim. you can make a catch, dribble the basketball, one bounce at least, and get a good shot.
Now Williams will face Myers.
Major thing for the Knicks, no silly foul.
Pippen is still in the game. Here's the lob inside, knocked out. Scottie comes down with it, the Knicks win it. The curse of Game 5 is over for the New York Knicks. Coming in, Chicago had won 5 of 6 Game 5s. Not tonight. The Knicks win it, the final 87-86. They take the series lead as we head to Chicago for Game 6. Tonight's Budweiser player of the game is, drumroll please, Hubert Davis. The big free throws gets him the honor. 6 points, 2 of 2 from the floor, 2 game-winning free throws. Budweiser will donate $1,000 on his behalf to the United Negro College Fund. Last play again, Hubie.
We're going to show you the play. Now what happens, keep an eye right there. This is a terrific move by Mason. Once again, Pippen was going right to the front of the rim. The pass was a long pass. Now, if that ball was thrown a little deeper, Pippen definitely had the inside position on Mason.
But the final 87-86, the Knicks now lead the best of 7, 3 games to 2 with Game 6 Friday in Chicago. 87-86 is the score. In the first 15 minutes, the Bulls had 16 fast break points, but the Knicks put the screws on the last 33, limited Chicago to nothing. In our game summary, the Bulls shoot 51%, the Knicks 48%, rebounds all New York. Let's take a look at that crucial foul by Scottie Pippen with 2.1 seconds left to set up the free throws by Hubert Davis.
Now this is the pass back on that diagonal. Now Scottie Pippen misses the ball and definitely crashes into Hubert Davis. That was a gutty call by Hugh Hollins. And then the last play of the game. Watch as Pippen circles down right to the front. Mason had a piece of him and then got his hand in for the knockaway to cause the free ball.
And joining us now is Greg Anthony. Greg, first of all, thanks for coming out of the locker room and joining us. You had a lot of pressure, the media all over you for Sunday's game. You were very confident today when you and I talked this morning. You proved it tonight.
Yeah, I felt pretty good coming into tonight's ball game. You know, I had a very lackluster performance on Sunday, as did the entire team. And, you know, but in this league, that happens. And, you know, you play a season of 82 games. You know, you're going to have a lot of games you wish that you had not have played. And this was indicative of that type of performance on Sunday. So today to be able to bounce back and help the team to a victory was very positive for myself as well as my teammates.
You know, I honestly thought that you stepped forward and hit a home run tonight. You really played a great basketball game. At the end of the game, what was going through your mind? You guys were trying to take the ball to the left side of the floor. Scottie Pippen was doing an excellent job on you.
Yeah, you know, Scottie makes it very difficult because he's, you know, 6'8", with long arms. He's an incredible defender. And you just couldn't get the ball over. They wouldn't allow you to. And then they had Kukoc playing like center field, so I couldn't penetrate. They basically, you know, they took us out of our set that we wanted to run. They make it very difficult to get the ball into the big fella. But we were fortunate tonight. We got some big free throws down the stretch, and we got some key defensive stops.
Now the last play, you gave them a lot of misdirection. Then you ran a screen and roll. Ewing goes down, all right, and all of a sudden you bring Davis to the top. Was that the primary move, Hubert Davis at the top of the circle?
Well, it was a situation whereby we wanted Patrick and John to run a two-man game, and just to take whatever we got out of that, because it was 7.5, 8 seconds. You got plenty of time to get a good look at the basket. And, you know, John made the right play to get it to the wide-open Hubert, and, you know, Hubert had a great look at it. Just fell a little short, but fortunately Scottie fouled him, and he knocks down a 2 free throws.
Now, you've been in this league 3 years now. Were you stunned that you got the call?
You don't expect to get that type of call. You normally don't get any call down the stretch because the officials do want to allow you to, you know, to decide the game on the court. But, you know, in a situation like that whereby, you know, you could have potentially taken away any opportunity we had to get a shot off, you know, you have to make that call. So, you know, we're very fortunate to get it. And we got to go down to Chicago and win on their home court.
Nice game tonight, Greg Anthony. You probably quieted a lot of writers, so they have nothing to write about now tomorrow morning.
yeah. I'm very happy to get the victory. I want to say hi to all my family back in Las Vegas.
There you go, Greg Anthony.
Great job tonight.
Excellent game, only one turnover as the New York Knicks win at the final once again, 87-86. Just a reminder, stay with us tomorrow night, a triple header. Playoff variety, 7 o'clock, the Hawks taking on Indiana, 9 o'clock, Utah, Denver, 11:30, Houston versus Phoenix. Coming up next, Inside the NBA with Fred Hickman and Mike Ladd. Once again, our final score, the Knicks go up 3-2 in the best of 7. They win at 87-86. For Hubie Brown and our entire crew in New York City, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.